Hey guys, new video here. Diablo build video. My thoughts on a skeleton mage necromancer. Ooh. Okay, so I hadn't played Diablo in like 3 or 4 years, my first Diablo season, and this build is really fun, so I thought I'd make a video on it. Now, I'm gonna be completely wrong about a lot of stuff because I've been playing the game like a little over a week, but here we go. So first we're gonna do a Greater Rift 90 just to show off the content here and see if you oh, I'm not numlocked. Oh boy, I wasn't numlocked. Just to show off the build and how it performs. So you're just dashing through, just killing some mobs. Your mages are doing all the work here, and see, it's pretty good progress, right? And yeah, I'm casting my skeleton mages when I get maximum essence. Right, and the way that it works is when I right click my mages, you see they do a lot of damage. The mages, if you don't target a mob, they'll attack what's closest. But if you right click on an actual mob itself, then what happens is it will target that mob. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you see a juicy pack of rares, you go like this. You target on top of them. And there's this little secret technique if you're pushing Greater Rifts. This build kind of sucks for Greater Rifts and solo play. Watch. If you see like a really juicy pack, hold on. Let me see if I can find this for you. One second. Those circles are Oculus circles. They increase my damage by like 85%. Alright, I can't find any rares here. Hold on. Oh, I had a channeling pile on there. Wait, where's the rares, dude? Yeah, I don't know where the rares. Oh, right, okay. So you can do this. Once you stop, you can press escape, because in single player, the game freezes. It actually pauses when you press escape. So if you see the rare right there, right, you can make sure your character's staying still. And once again, this is only for Greater Rift pushing. You can hit escape, mouse over the target, and then right, well, he died in one shot anyways. But you know what I mean? So you can, because it's really hard to target. Like right here, you see that? This rare, like I stop moving. Oh shit. And then I can target him. Right now I'm doing a lot of damage, so it's like doesn't really make sense. But it's just a little strategy that you can do. You can pause champ the game all over the place, because let me tell you, the biggest issue is that there's no smart targeting on the mages. So if you do decide to be full fatigue and you want to push with this build, you're gonna have to be shroud levels of aim in order to target your skelly mages. It is ridiculously hard because there's a little bit of collision in this game. So the white mobs, sometimes there's huge density, and then what will happen is with that density you might think you're actually targeting the correct mob, but you're not. You're actually targeting a white mob, and then for the entire duration that a skeleton mage is up, it'll target the wrong guy, and you'll lose your cooldown juice to kill the necessary mob. So here's a Rift Guard. Now this is gonna be a lot of damage, because watch, okay, because they actually do insane damage. So that was the run. I know level 90 is kind of low, but you can push a little bit higher if you want. Let me pick up this stuff and then go back to town here. And I'll kind of go through my thoughts and explanation of the build the best way I know how. Okay, I didn't even talk to Urshi. This is someone who upgrades your gems. So let me upgrade I don't know, just like some I always like to go one at a time, because I'll eventually need all the gems at a high level to augment my gear. But that's you guys already know that if you're a Diablo player. Okay. And the reason I map tab while I teleport is because I have Devour Numlocked. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I actually, if I try to TP or whatever, it'll actually cancel it because I keep devouring. Okay, so that's the build. So far I have gotten to with this guy. I am rank 8 Necromancer. Yo, this guy got 120. Oh my god. So yeah, I've been playing for a little bit. This character is like a few days old. I got to rank 8 Necromancer. New player here, by the way, and yeah, not a lot of people play Necromancer, right? So it's a little bit weaker than a lot of the other classes because it's very squishy. So what I'm using is, this is the main skill, Skeleton Mage. And what Skeleton Mage does is, with this rune, you consume all your essence, okay? Every little bit of essence to summon a mage, and for every bit of essence you consume, you get like a 3% more multiplier to the mage. So it's very important that you try to, if you can, to cast the mage at max essence, and then it'll be like a Super Saiyan mage, right? So if I cast, right, and look, you don't regen essence, right? So this group is very, is very dependent on group play, really, unless you change your build to make it kind of weak. And so the skeleton mages do all your damage. You don't really do any damage yourself, okay? The bone armor is for a little bit of defense, so it stacks up to 10 and you get 30% damage reduction. And damage reduction in Diablo is like the less multipliers just keep multiplying each other, right? So if you have a lot and the bigger your multipliers, like the safer you are, obviously, but when they multiply each other, you're even safer. And Necromancer just doesn't have a lot of these less multipliers unless you want to completely gimp your build. And this is like the most fun Necromancer build, the Singularity Mages. So what I do is that I take you have to be around enemies for this, and I get 30% less damage, but I also stun them, which has synergies with items I'm using, namely where is it? Namely the where's my cube stuff? Where's my cube stuff here? Wait, what am I cubing? Hold on, how do I see my cube stuff? Oh, is it here? With this thing, right? You get 100% increased damage against slowed enemies and triple bonus against other control impairing. So when I stun or I have my Land of the Dead freezing them, I get even more damage, right? 100 or 300% more damage. And then how do I get to my okay? So yeah, and you can use this like very frequently to stun enemies and get that damage bonus, and it's got decent AoE. Now the Devour, this is the way that you get your essences back, right? And so 60 yards is huge. 60 yards is like, it's like really big actually. It's like 60 radius in Path of Exile. And then so it restores my health. The reason I'm using Cannibalize is because this is like when I have my Simulacrum skill up, I lose a lot of health because it drains my health. So and you consume a lot of corpses, so this is like very good healing. You could also go this if you're like really geared, I think, and if you're farming bounties and stuff. I just put it into an aura because you use things to increase your radius, and then you don't have to numlock it. So this skill is sustain on your health, and it is very important to keep high health. Because if you go down to low health and you proc your cheat death, your mages will disappear. So the Cannibalize, you'll see, like you see how my guy's always casting it. Now if I turn back on my numlock and I hit the button, I'm not doing it. So instead of running around like this, right, and spamming like spamming the Cannibalize like this, instead in my options here in the key bindings, I just put number pad 2 for the secondary. Okay, and these hotkeys are on my side of my mouse, by the way, if you're wondering why it's function keys. And then so I hold the numlock trick is if I hold down number 2 or whatever your hotkey is, and then disable number block while still holding down the key, and then let go. Look, now hands free, the guy keeps casting it. And this is important because you could make a macro for it if you want to, but people tell me that making a macro to do this, to like, not that, sorry, wrong button, to spam this, look at this key, to spam that like that, if you were to make a macro for that, is against TOS. So, you know, take that as you will. So that's why I use the number pad, and look, it's casting. Now you won't see it like pop off, right, because it's like there's no cooldown on it. And now here's another important thing. You see how when I hold down my left click or my force move, you see this? It's not casting, right? But if, look at this, but now I'm just tapping my force move, right? And people bind force move to their scroll wheel. I bind it to W because I'm used to Path of Exile playstyle like that. And you see how that burst of blood, that green blood, it's still going off when I force move. So you either have to just click to move to make sure the Devour keeps going off, or just tap your force move to go where you want. It doesn't matter really how fast you tap it. Just make sure you do not hold down, because see, if I hold it down, I am no longer devouring, right? So that's another important thing. Okay, moving on with the build. Blood Rush, this is a movement skill. You can change this into a curse if you wanted to, like maybe you want some cooldown or something, so you can use like Decrepify, Borrow Time, if you don't need a movement skill. But I really like this one because in groups it's kind of important to move. I don't have illusory boots, so I can't move through enemies, so I'm just dashing around and stuff like that, right? It's like helps me keep up with my group. And this is one thing, this is more focused towards this video will be more focused towards like how I feel about group play. And so I dash around, and they work with the boots. The boots give me a movement speed bonus after I blood rush, right? Look at that. There's other ways you can like get this to be instant if you use like Ingeom or like other things like that, right? So it's like, it's really fun skill. It's like kind of weird. It kind of feels like desync in Path of Exile, but it's really nice. It feels smooth. So that's why I use the rune that I use for it is potency, because if you look right here, The armor you don't have a lot of. So when you're an intelligence character, you have massive resist, but you have very low armor. And then for the melee character, strength base, it's the other way. So right now I'm reducing the damage by 71%. But look, if I blood rush, boom, 81%. So 10% less multiplier, and once again, less multipliers multiply on each other. So very strong there. If you're going like full speedy boy, you can use metabolism, because metabolism, it doubles the health cost, but you get two charges, and then doubling the health cost will actually help you proc blood is power. Okay, and so that's my blood rush thing there. Also, another thing is that these mages, they don't attack doors or debris. So sometimes you'll be running, and let's say like this wall right here is like a breakable debris. You can't run through that. It sucks, right? And you know, I don't have like a skill to. Well, I guess maybe I could. I don't know if that like the bone damage destroys the wall, but you have to cast a skeleton mage on the wall, because skeleton mages will target anything that you click it on. So what if you have like no essence, right? Because look, I have 0 essence right now, and now I cannot summon another skeleton mage to break down this wall here. So what you can do if you're doing solo is for molting leaves a corpse at your location. So what you'll do is you'll dash, right? And then that left a corpse. The essence consumed it, right? The devour consumed that corpse, and now I can cast my mages on the door to break it. Okay, so yeah, that's what you can use there. And Land of the Dead's pretty important when you're playing. So I like it in group play, even though in group play sometimes there's like 1 or 2 other necromancers that have this. It just fills up your essence pool really fast. You can spam skeleton mages. It just feels nice. It's a little bit of CC because you freeze everything. And it's like your big cooldown, right? 120 seconds, but you have a lot of cooldown reduction. So yeah, I use this Frozen Land. It's pretty good. Freezes literally everything. It looks amazing. You'll see like if I use it right now, like look at this. Look at the devour. Like all the souls going into me, like generating globes. Like it's just insane. Look at this, right? It's just so good. And then with and also remember, it makes you look really cool. So good MTX too. So use that. Simulacrum, this is probably the biggest cooldown. So this one's like kind of weird. So when you use this, you create a copy of yourself. You'll see, like right, you see that guy right there is my copy, and he does whatever I do. So if I cast mages, he also casts mages. So instead of 2 mages, I get 4 mages, right? So really insane. You can have 10 mages at a time. So he'll cast everything that you do for your what's it called, your secondary skills, right? So for my mages, and it lasts a really long time because I'm using this amulet right here. So definitely use Simulacrum Reservoir, and the reason you want to use the Reservoir rune with this is because the essence is doubled. And remember, increased max essence is skeleton mage damage because of that rune. So really nice synergies there. So use Simulacrum, you're gonna pop off. You're gonna do like insane levels of damage, right? You're hitting for like you know, like in the trillions and stuff like that, right? So that's the setup right there. Now for solo play, I use Life is Death, but in group play, I use Blood is Power. And in group play, things get a little bit iffy, so I use Final Service. So this is like what I use for group play. This is a cheat death. Every class in Diablo has one of these, and basically when you die, you don't die actually, and then it's got a 60-second cooldown. This one is a little bit worse than the other classes, I feel, because like on the Barbarian that I played, if you cheat death, you can still like attack and do a lot of damage, but this one destroys all your minions. And because I only have damage when my skeleton mages are up, destroying skeleton mages when it procs is kind of jarring, and sometimes I forget that I don't have them up. But it's pretty good that it prevents all damage for 4 seconds, I guess, instead of like a reduction. This one is just because your mages last longer, so with bad density or you know, solo play, it helps a little bit. But I actually don't think I need extended servitude if I'm in a really good support group. And then the overwhelming essence, this is just damage, straight up damage multiplier, because every point is once again going into the singularity mages. And then Blood is Power, this works with any kind of damage taken cumulatively, and reducing cooldown by 20% is pretty insane, especially if you have a group that's like just constantly healing you, right? So that's kind of the setup. If I didn't take extended servitude, because I can like just always have health globes in a full party, I might actually go maybe some speed, maybe even life from death to get more globes. Maybe I don't really know. Maybe if I went like curse, I'll go like curses last forever. I don't know what you do. Maybe just like speed or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's talk about the items and stuff. So the items, I'm using Scythe of the Cycle, and this isn't perfect. It goes up to 400% additional damage. So basically, when your bone armor is up, you do insane damage. The mages will do like really ridiculous damage, and you always have bone armor up, so massive damage multiplier there. Stewart's Greaves is just so when I blood rush, I gotta look at this move speed, and my Stewart's Greaves are bad. Look how fast I am, right? My Stewart's Greaves have only 85% roll, but they can go up to 100% roll. This shield or anything like it, all you really want on this is like cooldown, crit, some damages, skeleton mage damage, and then you want that essence roll to be high. See, this one's 1 off, so I'm losing a little bit damage multiplier there. It can go up to 20. This ring, I'm using a Stone of Jordan instead of a Convection of Elements, because Convection of Elements, let's say you have like a 200 roll even, right? And you have 3 elements, so you're only getting like 70, like 68, you know, something around there, like 60 something percent more damage overall. But this, I get physical 20%. Excuse me. I get damage against elites by 30%, and I roll the maximum essence 18. So 18 times the 3% here from the Skeletal Mage Singularity, that's 3 times 18, that's 54% damage. So I like the Stone of Jordan because it's always there. It's always up. Instead of the convection, you know, let's say for 8 seconds it's not up. Well, when you're in a group speed clearing Griffs, you know, it kind of sucks. And so that's why I didn't use that. I use these Swampland Waders because it has a physical damage over time roll. It's a Witch Doctor Pants. I had to roll on Witch Doctor. And you can always use Hexing Pants of Mr. Yan. But if you wear Hexing Pants, you have to move around all the time. And sometimes my follower uses Oculus Ring. So Oculus Ring, actually I need to, how do I like reset? Wait, how do I like reset her? I don't know how to reset her inventory, but so when my follower uses an Oculus Ring, that glowing yellow circle increases my damage by 80% here, right? It goes to 85, but when I stand in there, I don't really want to move. I just want to like sit in there and just like cast, right? So it's quality of life to have this, even though if you're constantly moving, I think the Hexing Pants are a tiny bit more damage. This other ring, you have to have this ring, the Circle of Naluj Evil, and this is for, I didn't want crit chance, or I want cooldown reduction on here, but I couldn't get it. And this is just because you double your skeleton mages, right? Instead of casting 1, you always cast 2 at a time, and they last longer, which is kind of important. And then when you have your simulacrum, watch. Well, I don't have the thing here, but when you have the simulacrum, you will cast what's it called? 4 mages. See, because he casts 2 as well. So in 2 casts, you will have 8 mages, and then you have a maximum of 10. So that is a necessary ring right there. Tasker and Theos, this one's really bad. It has like decent rolls, but that attack speed on pads is 40% instead of 50, so that kind of sucks. This chest is just to restore additional essence and life from the Devour. The roll goes up to 100, so when I spam my Devour, I get more resource and more life. The Reaper's Wraps are very important because the health globes, when you're in party play, are the core of your build. You need the health globes to be able to cast your skills, and now it restores my primary resource. Max roll on this is 30%, so the 30% would be, you know, it would fill up a tiny bit faster, and maybe if it's not capped, you know, a little bit more multiplier, but these are fine. The Haunted Visions is so that the Simulacrum, it drains 5% max life per second, right? But so it's like very dangerous if you're playing solo, but it does make the Simulacrum last twice as long, so you get extra, like, you know, 4 casts of this, doubling your essence for massive damages. So it is a necessary amulet. Go with the Andariels for the physical damage. I'm trying to stack all physical damage on this build because that's what the Singularity mages are. And so it gives me physical damage, attack speed is like sheet DPS, and skeletal mage damage, and then the unique thing doesn't really matter on here. Now, the thing about the sheet DPS is that attack speed is like your attack speed, but the mages are based on sheet DPS. So it's kind of like you want to update the sheet DPS to a certain point through attack speed, but it's kind of weird how it works. Okay, just know that the sheet damage is actually kind of important for the skeletal mages, even though things like your attack speed I don't think are the skeletal mages breakpoint thingies. I don't know. You can watch other videos about it. I don't know too much about it. I'm a noob. These shoulders are really good. Right, they just have a cooldown, you know, they have like the regular stats, and then they also gain the Gift of Death, so that when your skeleton mage, when they die, they get a corpse, and then remember, corpse gets devoured for more essence and for life, so that's kind of nice, I guess. And then Witching Hour is just for straight up damages. You can use a Vigilante belt for cooldown reduction. You can use, if you're using curses, there's a belt that gives you like 50% reduction of damage if you have a curse up. It's really sick. Okay, what else is necessary on here? The cube. Let's go to the cube real quick. So you have to have this ring, right? Remember, this ring is also core of the build. So the ring slots are like kind of tight. So I cube this because with a cube you always get the max roll, so that's necessary. Well, Leoric's Crown doubles the effect. I'm using a diamond in the helmet because the diamond reduces the cooldown of my mages, and or sorry, not the mage. It reduces the cooldown of my Land of the Dead and the Simulacrum, so that's super important. And yeah, so I use the diamond in there, and then the topaz in here for damage, but you could use strength gems in here for more defense, for more armor. And then this is like, when you're in group play, this is so much damage, it's not even funny, right? Because every point of max essence is increasing the damage by 0.5, and the other thing doesn't matter after that. But so like when you pop your Simulacrum, right, your max essence is 692, so you get like 300, like and I think I'm off one, so I could actually have 694, so you could have like 347% more damage from this, right? So it's like really crazy. Solo play, I can use Messer Shoots or Ingeon, and so that's my cube. Anything else to talk about? I think that's it. I probably missed a bunch of stuff, but in groups it is really fun. You're like a Rift Guardian killer, you're an elite killer. As long as you can target your mages on the necessary targets while moving and while like a bunch of crap is happening on the screen, you do insane damages. It's like so nuts. And also you're kind of effective at clearing trash, because while you're moving through, your mages do target a lot of stuff, and they'll one shot like the white monsters and stuff as well. So it's like, it's pretty fun. It's the most fun Necromancer build, I think. It just has a lot of problems with it. Okay, so the problems with the build, super squish. Like, you're gonna die all the time. If you die, you lose your mages. It just doesn't have good ways to get the defense without sacrificing the playstyle itself, or the like just ridiculous amounts of damage, right? Because like when I go solo, like by just swapping out my cube of that scythe, right, it loses damage, and then having to change my passives, I lose damage. And it's kind of a nightmare, I gotta say. It is actually a nightmare. So like pushing last night, I was actually getting triggered because I can't play the way I want with this build, which I think is the most fun. But other than that, if you get a group together that can support you, man, it's a good time. So yeah, that's the video. It's my first Diablo 3 video. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Path of Exile is in like a week or so you know, we'll go back to Path of Exile stuff. But I want to release this video just to like talk through what I've learned. You know, been playing a little over a week of Diablo. I've learned like the basics and stuff. Oh, I forgot to talk about this, I guess. I mean, you have like max out this, but I want like 800,000 health, and I went rest and intelligence. Max essence is more damage multiplier. Movement speed to cap it to 25. If people talk about that in their Diablo guides, I don't know like what people use. I don't know if there's a POB, like a Path of Exile version for Diablo of POB, but maybe that would just be easier. But that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, actually don't ask me questions because I have no idea what's going on in this game. You guys can follow me on Twitch, stream every day, and yeah, thanks for watching my video. Okay, bye everyone, bye.